When a student comes down to home base with a card, which are based off of the zones of regulation, they first have to sign in to our sheet and just list their name, the reason they're in, and the time so we can keep track on our data forms. When the student comes in, whoever's staffing the room assesses based off of their card what their need might be. So a blue card would be a sensory break. So they could either use a trampoline or hang on the couch, take a music break on the computers, or use some of our different sensory items. We have balls, jump ropes, putty. They can use the bungee chairs as a sensory, or any of our balance boards. If it's something else, like emotional regulation or test taking, we have a quiet closet, and they also have bins with personal items inside if that would make them feel better. There's always someone staffed in the room to talk to them if they're at the red zone or the yellow zone of just needing to talk. And when we feel it's best for them to head back to class, they sign out and head back. Once they're back to class, whoever's staffing the room goes into our Google Doc that we have and completes the doc, and that keeps all of our data. And so at the end of every month, we're allowed to go in and see how much time students are spending in home base.
What things encourage the teams to use home base?
A big motivator for the teams to use home base is that the students that might have been disrupting the classroom earlier now have a place to go instead. So they're able to get their work done and keep the other classmates focused in the classroom in their pod. And this just is another resource for the teams to use as an intervention.
What types of interventions are used in the program?
The interventions we use at Mountain Ridge are the zones of regulation, Superflex, and the Unthinkables. And our social skills class is based off of Michelle Garcia Winner's social thinking program.
How do you collect student data about the success of home base?
So we collect the data when the students sign in each time into home base. We collect it in a Google Doc, and that way we're able to pull everything once a month and see when the students are coming down, and we can relate to what times they're coming down and if there's any correlation throughout their day, and then try to provide different interventions for them.
When did you realize that MRMS needed more programs for students struggling during the school day?
About 3 years ago, we noticed that a lot of our students were having a hard time staying in class the whole 90 minutes, and that just getting their work done was really, really hard for them, and that they needed a place to go to get a little bit of extra help. So it was about 3 years ago.
What things needed to be researched before the room was put into action?
So we need to research the best ways that we could help kids with things like their executive functioning skills and being able to manage their emotions and work in a group, collaboration. We needed to research different interventions that would work for them.
How do you decide if a student needs the home base program?
We decide if a student needs home base if we see that they're having a really hard time staying in class for the whole 90 minutes, if they have a hard time being able to pay attention, or if they have a hard time working in a group and being flexible, if they need to take breaks throughout the day. Also, maybe if they just need somebody to talk to, then that's how we decide a student may benefit from coming down here.
How do you make sure the other staff in the building are educated about home base program?
At the beginning of the year, myself and the speech pathologist go around to all of the different teams and meet with them at their team meetings and give them a little training on home base and what the room is used for and what students can use the room. And we give them sets of passes so that they can give these passes out to the students who need to come down here and take breaks.